Look, selling crack on the streets, selling crack to a little baby, smoking crack, yeah, look, I'm the real crack vendor, all these hoes falling for me like the woke agenda, tried to stop popping perks, but I'm a born sinner, look, Gerby, got 14 cougars in the back of a limo, I sold crack to Elmo, you a homo, I just watched Home Alone. That's Macaulay Culkin. Eating chicken rice, now I'm slowly bulking. Gerby. Yeah, baby. One take, no script. You got it. Gerby. What up? It's your boy Gerberts Void. It's the year of our Lord 2024. I have a good feeling about this one. Things are going to go right. I got a lot of plans, a lot of ambitions. Hopefully, I make them happen. Hope you had some good holidays. Everything went well, you know. So, there you go. But I thought of something else to yap about today, so that's why Daddy's here. Because it's something that I've noticed around, you know, something that's happened to me. I've seen it happen to other people. It's a bit of a comment or critique, I'll see. And it's basically that, you know, I could be perceived as negative, being kind of a doomer, so, you know, black-pilled, really pessimistic, a doomsayer, whatever. And I get it, you know. I talk about a lot of problems that I see because they happen to me and they're happening to a lot of young people, evidently. You know, it's clearly not like a personal thing anymore. I see all around. I'm not that interesting. The reason why I think these videos did well in the first place is because they are speaking to things that are now, unfortunately, quite large issues. And when I talk about them, or when I see other people talk about them, or when anybody makes a cultural critique or says anything negative or says, you know, conveys or tries to explain problems or dissatisfaction with a situation, there will always be people who dismiss it if solutions are not immediately provided. So I'll see something like, you know, all you do is talk about problems, you don't give solutions, you're just being negative, it brings people down, etc. This is something I see a lot. Everywhere, especially in this kind of discourse. And I just wanted to talk about it because I don't think this idea makes much sense. For starters, sometimes I do try to provide solutions, but that's not really the point. I want this to be like a general thing. This is like a fallacy. This idea it's based off a few presumptions I have written down here because I don't want to cut this video. It's based off a few presumptions that just aren't true. It doesn't make sense. So this is a new fallacy that I'm proposing because that's what we need more of, I guess, is fallacies. Ways to call people out. So when you see it, you could be like, you're doing the fallacy. This fallacy is, you know, the fallacy of required solutions, or the father fallacy for short. It's nice and alliterated. Basically what it is someone's discussing a problem, expressing discontent, and the whole discussion, the ideas, the thoughts are immediately dismissed as complaining, and, you know, people insist that solutions must be provided immediately. So that's what it is. And it doesn't. Here's why it doesn't make sense. The first presumption is that there is a solution. It's sort of it's a manifestation of another fallacy called the just world fallacy. that everything must have a solution. Some things can be solved and some things can't. And the truth is that, sort of peace of mind comes from discernment. That's all. There's also the Bible verse about that. Lord, help me accept the things I can't change. So that's what it is. And maybe this is getting like too spiritual, too Marcus Aurelius for the type of people saying this shit, but not everything needs a solution. Sometimes you just need to accept things. Now, am I saying that's the case with things I'm talking about? No, I'm not sure. But not everything needs a solution. And the accusation that I'm a doomer or nihilist or overly pessimistic isn't really the case, because I'm not a materialist. So even if all of these things were true and there was no solution, I don't think that's it, right? But even if I wasn't, it doesn't make sense for another reason. Let's go on to the other presumptions that this fallacy has. Not everything has a solution. Not everything needs a solution. And also, the universality of solutions and the immediate demand for a solution when I talk about these things doesn't make sense, because everyone's situation is different. The idea, like, I'm just a 20-year-old guy. The idea that I would be able to go into everybody's different scenarios and fucking figure out what's wrong, it's just simply absurd. And sure, like, the thing about these is that people know what to do. Like the universal solutions are obvious. What do you want me, like, work out? Hey man, you should work out. You should eat healthy. You should do skincare. Have you heard of getting a haircut? Did you know you're supposed to drink water? I've just been drinking Sprite the whole time. I didn't know you were supposed to drink water. You're supposed to piss. I didn't know, like, how to piss. Apparently you're supposed to, like, go piss. Like, you pull down your pants and you piss out of your wiener. Whoa. Did you know you need to wipe your ass? I mean, golly. Hey man, you should have hobbies. Like, what the fuck do you, like, it's so obvious, these kinds of solutions. And a lot of the whole, what do you want me to say? Do you really need somebody to tell you to work out? Like that's some sort of new information. Oh, some jack guy told me to work out. Oh, lift weights. Yes, go gym. I mean, that whole thing is just retarded. It really is. And I was into it, and it's nice, but I'm sorry, I am getting skeptical about that too. It just seems like a real throwing a Band-Aid on, like, a gunshot wound or something. Going to the gym. Just this whole obsession with gym culture. And also that it's like these edits where it's like embrace tradition, and then it's like a guy like taking shirtless mirror selfies or working out with his shirt off and like posing. It's like, that's not traditional. No traditional man was doing it. It's actually kind of gay if you think about it. But yeah, okay. I went on a little bit of a rant. Everybody's situation is different. So not everything has a solution. Not everything needs a solution. And everyone's solution is different. So why then do you expect Daddy to provide answers to all these complex things, and sort of they run deep societally, that I'm talking about? Why? Doesn't really make sense. So that leads to the final sort of presumption of the father fallacy, is that the real underlying assumption is that they think addressing problems in itself without providing an immediate solution just isn't valuable, or it's the opposite of valuable. But that just doesn't make sense. If I talk about these things and I'm not overly emotional about it, whatever, because that's the word complaining. That's the connotation it has. It has overly emotional. It has not valuable to anybody. When I think of complaining, I think of someone like in their car having road rage, like yelling about the traffic when nothing's going to change. You're just freaking out in your car. But I would like to think that's not what's happening here. I'm trying to be rational. I read about things. I try to talk about things that I see and relate to people. That's just what I want to do. I want to relate to people because I think there are big things that nobody will talk about them. And that's what it is. And just talking about these things without trying to haphazardly throw solutions or solve all problems or magic bullets onto it. Just talking about them itself is helpful because it resonates with people. Maybe it makes them feel less alone. Or maybe here's the real solution is that when you watch these things, you see the universal problem and you already fucking know the universal solutions. You know about working out. You've heard about that, right? You know about whatever, drinking water, doing all this shit. You know about the universal solutions. I'm talking about these things, maybe you resonate them. Now, what you could do is you could look at your own solution, your own situation, and figure out your own solutions. Or maybe some brilliant person might stumble across videos like these, become aware of certain things, and maybe they'll be the next person to figure it all out, to solve it for everybody. It's wishful thinking, but who knows? Because here's the crazy thing is that the solutions that are the most valuable, that will actually be the most transformative in your life are the types of things you won't just find on a YouTube video. A lot of these things are just people, when you watch this motivational content, it's just to make you feel better even though you're just watching a video. Like, do you really need to be told to work out or not jack off? Or like, a lot of you already know this stuff. But the solutions that are most valuable are the ones that you're going to come up with for yourself, for your particular situation. Because the thing about these solutions you see everywhere or on the internet or that are easily accessible, that makes them cheap. It does. That's the sort of fundamental issue with it, is that if everybody can do these things, they're not really as powerful. They lose their value. It's like a supply and demand. It's the same principle. So that's what it is. The most transformative solutions are the ones that are unique to you, that you think of with your mind. So asking daddy for those kind of things, it's like, yeah, sure, I could tell you to what? Meditate, work out, like all this grinding shit is just ridiculous. These people get rich telling you how to get rich. It doesn't really make sense, does it? So just talking about the problems itself is valuable, if done correctly, If I'm not sitting here maybe bitching or whining or whatever. If I'm trying to at least sound smart or say something smart. And I see this happen to a lot of people, anybody that talks about this kind of thing. Solutions? Well, you talk about the problems. What about the solutions? Figure it out your own fucking self. I'm not your father. That's why it's called the father fallacy. So there you go, man. I think what this idea comes from is just something makes you uncomfortable. The idea I talk about, somehow just you don't feel comfortable about it. So like most fallacies, it's just something to immediately dismiss something as complaining. You're not offering solutions, so what you're saying isn't valid. And when you look at it like that, it just doesn't really make sense. It falls apart pretty quickly. So there it is. That's what I wanted to talk about. And New Year's, You know what? I'll end it on a positive note. Here's the solution, is to figure out your own solution. Don't look to anybody, don't look to any gurus who think they know you. They don't know your situation. If something works for everybody, if you think about it, it works for nobody. When you find something, when you be creative, figure out your own particular angle, something that works for you in particular, something that maybe not everybody else could do. That's how you ascend, you know? That's how you figure out something, become somebody in this time where people lack identity, people lack community, people lack relationships, people spend a lot of time on the internet, etc. To become somebody, you know, you can't be looking all the time for things that everybody can see. It just doesn't really make sense. You have to do different shit. You have to think for yourself. So yeah, address everything you're uncomfortable with. Maybe write it down, and be, you know, generally aware of the broader picture of how this happened to you, how you ended up in this situation, not just personally, but on a macro societal scale, and then work it out for you. Be creative. You know, and for some people, it might be lifting weights, but not for everybody. For some people, it might be looks maxing or any of that kind of shit. Maybe. I don't know. I do really think that people's situations are different enough to make the whole off, you know, they are quite different. Different environments, different genetics, different people around them, different aptitudes. It's just there's too broad a spectrum of situations to offer universal solutions. Well, actually, no. I'm not even going to say that the type of people who make motivational content or that are gurus are axiomatically bad. There are some good people helping people, offering good advice. But that's like a small group of people, and they don't have to be everybody. I could just sit here and talk about things that I feel and that I see, and it helps people. That's what I think, in some way. So, have a blessed day. Happy New Year.